If you think that your permanent jewelry business is demanding too much for too little return, if you are not paying yourself, or if you're constantly questioning your pricing strategy, this video is for you. My name is Nikki. I am owner of Adornable Permanent Jewelry here in Colorado, as well as owner of Countess Wholesale Jewelry and Business Consulting. And I'm here to talk to you about how if you own a permanent jewelry business, you are probably not priced for sustainability. And let me tell you what I mean by that. I talked before in my video about tiered pricing and how that may be causing your customers to walk, but pricing is so multifaceted. There are so many aspects that go into it. And so chances are, if you're watching this video, you are probably not pricing correctly. You're probably not pricing your chain, your labor, or your business in any aspect correctly. And I say that from a place of love and caring because I care about you. And in order for your business to be sustainable, you need to price it that way. And pricing, especially for women, feels icky a lot of times. So you can't be pricing your permanent jewelry on materials and vibes. You have to price it strategically. So let me tell you the things that go into it and probably some of the things that you're missing and not factoring in. Most permanent jewelry business owners don't actually know their costs, all of their costs. So if you don't know your cost, it's impossible for you to price sustainably. You are probably guessing at pricing based on what your last purchase of chain cost you. And guessing is totally fine for a hobby, but it is not fine for a sustainable business. So, what you're thinking about probably when you set your prices is the cost of the chain, the cost of the charms, maybe the booth fee that you're paying. And that's it. But that means that your formula for pricing is materials plus a little extra, plus what I think my neighbor down the street is charging equals my price. And that might work until you get tired, you want to grow, you want to pay yourself, or you want to stop doing 8-hour market days every single weekend for the rest of your life. What you're not accounting for when you set your prices is that if you're like me when I first started, in my mind, once I purchased my tools, then they were free. I didn't have to think about them anymore. So it would be like I priced what I felt like was a fair price in the market, and anything extra that came in, I didn't use to pay myself. I used to put it towards tools. Like, oh, cool, I got the welder I wanted. Maybe I even got a backup welder in a good year. I got my pliers. I have my displays. I have my point of sale system that I use. And here's the thing about those costs is, number one, they're not a one-time cost. You're going to have to pay them again. But on top of that, you need to factor in the cost of those tools over a period of time. So you have to bake them into your pricing strategically, because otherwise you're not pricing yourself for sustainability. And what I mean by sustainability is you are not pricing yourself to stay in business. And the reason that is important is because you probably care about your customers. You probably care about the experience that you're providing to them. And in order for you to be able to continue to provide that experience for your customers, you have to be in business. And the only way that you can stay in business is if you're pricing correctly. Something else that I hope, and I am telling you guys this, my dad's an insurance agent, and so I have seen the ugly side of when people don't have insurance. Insurance and compliance, they are real business expenses and you must have them. I don't care if you're doing permanent jewelry just as a hobby here and there on the weekends, you have to have insurance. You have to. I mean, and it doesn't matter if you have an LLC, whatever, you have to have insurance. because you don't want a simple mistake that may not even be your fault take you down. So you've got to have liability insurance, event insurance, riders, probably. You might need to have you do need to have licenses. You need to have like your sales tax license, your wholesale license, your softwares. So these are real business expenses that, again, they're not a one-time fee. This is something that you need to factor into your costs and spread them out over time. If your prices don't cover these things, then your business is being funded by your personal finances. That's not entrepreneurship. That's just a slow leak, and that's a fun and costly hobby. And even if you're making a profit, again, if all of the profit that you're making, you're just investing back into the business or back into your debt for the things that you owe, like say you're not done paying off the credit card that you used to buy your welder, again, you're not running a business here, and you're certainly not running a sustainable business. But more than that, more than actually knowing your numbers, you're probably underpricing your time, like by a lot. A lot. So I'm not even just talking about welding time. I'm not talking about the time that you're sitting in a chair looking at a customer. I'm talking about everything else. The time that it is taking you to pack and unpack and repack your stuff for an event. The time it is taking you to set up at your pop-up, to tear down. Even the time that you're standing there waiting for customers, the time that you're explaining what permanent jewelry is, that you're answering questions, the DM conversations that you're getting, the social media stuff that you're posting, following every Facebook group out there looking to see who wants permanent jewelry and responding back to it with your business name, following up with people, doing your taxes, doing your books, ordering, doing your inventory, fixing mistakes, doing rewelds. All of these things are your time. And so if you are only pricing the cost of the weld, then you're not paying yourself. And again, that's not a business, and that's not sustainable, and that is the fastest way that you can lead to burnout in this business. And trust me, I have been there. I have been there where, like, I love my job. I love what I'm doing. I love interacting with my customers, but I'm tired and also still worried about how I'm going to pay my bills. Even if you don't need to make a living off of your permanent jewelry, again, you're going to reach emotional burnout much faster when it's a volunteer job. Emotional labor is real, you guys, and nobody prices it. So standing all day and, like, for me at least, being on for customers, like big smile on my face, answering questions, saying hi to people, excuse me, introducing myself, handling indecision, being pleasant, just being on, you know what I mean? Anyway, my point is, the work requires energy, and energy costs something. And so you've got to pay yourself for it, unless this is a volunteer job and you're okay with that. And to be honest with you, for some people, it is a volunteer job, and that's okay. So underpricing yourself, it just creates a really fragile business, and you don't want a fragile business. You want a business that's going to stand the test of time. So this is the key. One slow market is going to hurt more if you're not paying yourself. One bad weekend is going to derail you. Being sick, it's going to just throw everything off. And that's not because you're bad at business. It's because the business has no margin for reality. So my point here is not to shame you, and it's not to teach you how to do your QuickBooks and your spreadsheets, and it's not to list out your costs. My point is just to say that if your business only works when everything's going perfectly, it's underpriced. So, that being said, if you want to talk about your pricing strategy in your business in particular, if you have any doubts, or probably the biggest thing for us women is if you want to feel confident telling your customers your prices, I'm happy to do a one-on-one consultation call with you. I love doing them. You can reach out to me at hello@shopkaunis.com. That's SHOPKAUNIS, or you can just go to shopkaunis.com and see what other kind of consulting and wholesale offerings I have. But I hope that you leave this video feeling the ambition to avoid burnout, create a sustainable business, and doing that by having a pricing strategy that's going to allow you to stay in business and continue to provide the wonderful service that you do to your customers. All right, I hope that's helpful. I hope that inspires you, and go out and price right.